How you doing, everyone? Welcome to Let's Get Stream. What I have with me today is a Yonex Vcore 95. This is I believe it's the 2021 version with the blue color at the throat here. String pattern, so 95 square inch head size. His head guard is pretty beat up. So I wonder what's your approach about talking to the client about getting the head guards replaced. I tend to wait until I've seen the racket like at least 2 or 3 times. This way I'm convinced that the player is constantly using the racket, not that they're just like, using it 1 or 2 last time and then they're gonna get rid of it and get a new one. Because when customer lets it go like this, it just tells me that it's pretty much neglect. Like they don't put too much attention or value to the equipment that they use. Maybe that's the whole point. They use it until it breaks and then get a new racket. So I don't know. So let's get this bad boy strung up. He will be doing Hybrid G17 in the mains and with Wilson Sensation multi-filament in the crosses, and the tension will be 51 pounds in the mains and 50 pounds in the crosses. I do have some Hybrid Gs that's already pre-cut from last time. I'm just checking to see that it's enough. Okay, I do believe this is enough length, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it and use it. Because of it being 95 square inch, it is gonna take slightly less strings. So we'll mount it with the Yonex logo side up, right side up. Those of you that don't know, this is a very good control racket, and it's without it being too stiff or plush. It's actually feels just right with the right string combination. I used to use it for about a season actively. Until I gave it up and switched to something that takes less effort and with easier power. This racket has 6 grommet holes in the throat, so we're going to go through the throat first. have our first grommet hole skipped. For the 8th string, we've skipped the 8th grommet hole and used the 9th grommet hole instead. That's the case for both the head and the throat side. Since my string is a bit short, I don't know if it's enough to grab it. I will try. This one's dangerously close. I want to make sure that this is 19 crosses and not 20. Oh, it is 20. Okay, I do apologize. It's a 16 by 19 string, 16 by 20 string pattern, not 19. Haven't used a racket. I sort of had a hunch that it might be 20, but it's been a couple of years. I totally forgot about it. So I'm going to wrap this multi-filament around the pole and give it some manual pre-stretch. I'm not going to use machine pre-stretch on it, just because I did not care and did not ask for it. So. Customer told me that he has made it on to his high school's D2 and D3 team. I have no idea what that means. So that's just what he told me. coach told him there'll be no problem playing D2 and D3. I don't know if it's like USTA. That would mean that the D2 is like the second best doubles match, whereas D1 is the best. Doubles is a totally different tennis game. I played my very first USTA doubles match this afternoon and won it with a score of 6-2. I mean 2-6, 6-2, and 1-0. 1-0 means in lieu of playing a full set in the third set, a tiebreaker was played. So our format was a 5-point tiebreaker, actually technically 9-point tiebreaker, and turns out to be whoever reaches the score of 5 first. So first to 5. Doesn't matter if and you don't have to win by 2. That's the thing. You just need to win by 1. First to 5. So the tiebreaker score was actually 5-3. So we just won it with a very narrow margin. I tell you, in the first set, I totally did not know what to do. I was playing on the do side. My partner played on the ad side, and I didn't do too well. It seems like I missed at least half of the returns. And I couldn't approach the net whatsoever, even when the opponents would hit me some hanging shots or lobs. Just did not have the footwork or the attacking ability to put balls away. And even when this happened throughout the match, even when I was up at the net, I got my racket on the ball. I just could not make a clean contact to put it away very solid. Although I gotta say, because my wrists have been pulled again, so I'm trying to nurse it all the times. So that's why with the weak wrist, I'm not able to really put a lot of power into my shots. So I have to, maybe I'm only hitting 70% strength. I'm just like guiding the ball without much confidence. I don't know if you ever gotten that kind of feeling before. But luckily, we turned things around in the second set. We reversed the score, 6-2. Because all we did was, because both me and my partner were traditionally singles players. He's played more doubles than me. But what we did was, we changed positions. So I played much better from the ad side compared to the do side. I was able to return serves, whereas from the do side, I could not, for whatever the reason, the lighting or whatever, the way my opponent was spinning the ball out of the court. So as soon as I switched to the ad side, one of the opponents has a really good slicer that curves to the right. So he got me a couple of times. I think one of them was an ace. It curved down the tee to the right, and I totally missed it. And then another time I got my racket on it, and then it turned into a mishit. So I learned my lesson. I started receiving by taking an extra step to my right to cover that down the tee shot. So, I mean, this is a D3 match, so the opponent are considered, you know, the weakest on their team. So all we did was we got our returns in, and we forced more rounds of rallies in. Once we were able to go back and forth, and before we know it, they started making unforced errors. And the bottom line is they cannot keep up the rally with us. And it's so different in a way that, unlike playing a singles baseline game, you're covering like full court from side to side. I feel like with this doubles matchup, I didn't need to run side to side that much. Matter of fact, from the whole 90-minute match, I didn't break much of a sweat. Whereas when I play singles, towards the end, I'd be like huffing and puffing. That's one of the reasons why recently I started joining a gym, and you know, making a habit of going to the gym and do the exercise bikes, or treadmills, or whatever, to try to break out more sweat and get my heart rate, you know, work on my cardio, get my heart rate up, to force me to be in that sweaty situation and try and maintain the high heart rate, maintain, you know, the sweaty conditions for as long as my body can handle it. I would go, you know, run and do the cardio. I would get off of it and lift some weights, either be working on my shoulders or arms, or be working on my legs, and then come back and repeat the cardio exercise again and try and break more sweat. I would do that back and forth, like at least three or four rounds, and then I'm out of there like in about an hour. So I think that's helped my singles stamina pretty good. Matter of fact, I noticed that the opponents, they needed to take more breaks and drink more water, and you know, eat whatever snack that will help them boost energy, whereas me and my partner, we didn't need to take much of a break at all, because we're probably used to the intensities from higher intensities from playing singles. But even though we didn't have to do a lot of running from side to side, what's different about a doubles match is that there's a lot of up and down running. Sometimes when you make a good deep shot from the baseline, you gotta have the foresight to follow up into the net and be ready to put away the opponent's short or weak reply. And there's a lot of them. Like early in the first set, we weren't taking any opportunities like that, and we just let opportunities slip away. Then in the second set, my partner was stepping in a lot more and being a lot more aggressive. And matter of fact, he told me that instead of doing these lobs and stuff, let's just start driving the ball to them. You know, take big cuts. And that worked out. So kudos to him. And during the tiebreaker, my serves came through a lot. I was cranking the fastest serves in the match, and a lot of them ended up getting points off of my first serves. Just, they were too fast for them to handle. But we did in fact lose the match. They are in the standings. This team was in the first position, and after this match, we only have one last match left. And we were in the third position, so the captain was really strategizing for us to really earn up as much points as possible in order to catch up. And unfortunately, with today's loss, we only managed to capture 7 points, and the opponent got 10 points because they won both the singles match as well as the doubles #1 match, so that gave them 10 points. We won the other two matches. The other two matches being the number 2 doubles and number 3 doubles. And we practiced yesterday too. I drove an hour down to Princeton to do a practice match with our D2 and D3 players. So I mean, that worked out pretty well because we won D2 and D3. But I'm glad I won my maiden USTA doubles match. How about you? When you won your first doubles match. Were you excited at all? Or was it like no such a big deal? Okay. Yeah, me personally, I don't like playing with this type of string bed where polys go on top of soft multis. Because as you can see, even with my fingers, I have a hard time moving the polys. I mean, the advantage of polys is that it's slick, it's able to slide out and snap back. That's how it generates power and spin. But with a soft string like multi-filament or natural gut that goes in the crosses, it just traps the poly in. It's like it sits in there and doesn't want to come out. It'll benefit the flat hitters because they don't generate much spin, but it's certainly not something I would use. So this has been another episode of Let's Get Stringing a Vcore 95 19 by 20 string pattern. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you can. Take care.